Okay, so I wanted to talk about the big game coming up, the Super Bowl, and some things that I noticed that came through, um, recent events, um, and I wanted to give some thoughts to what I think about what I think is gonna happen on Sunday. And so, anyway, I kind of was looking at this. It kind of clicked off in my mind. Um, we saw the that a collision in a midair collision in Washington D.C. And then like right after that, we saw this incident in Philadelphia, and the report said it was a plane that crashed in a neighborhood in Philadelphia. And I was thinking back, and I was thinking to myself, that's pretty strange because you had um, you had the LA fires, and so if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and the road to the Super Bowl, and they ended up playing the Los Angeles Rams, and that's where the fires were. Um, of course, they didn't play them in Los Angeles, but it's where the Rams' home field is. And then they ended up playing the Washington Commanders, and then that's where the that mid-air collision was. And then in Philadelphia, where they play, um, there was that incident with the down plane, and the game moves Sunday to New Orleans, where you know, what was it, New Year's Day, when you had that the truck incident in New Orleans. So it's kind of the biggest national news events um, that came across since the I guess the fires were like maybe like the ending part of the year or whatever it is, but the last not too long of time. Um, these events all happened in these places. That like I said in Philadelphia, they ended up playing um, in Philadelphia against all these teams also, right? So anyway, so it just kind of brought to mind, like coincidentally these things are happening in these cities, and they're the same cities where these teams are from that were on the road, you know, for the Eagles especially on the road to the Super Bowl, and it was just a kind of weird coincidence, to me, kind of odd seeming. Um, so which leads us to the Super Bowl. So you know, I kind of look at the Super Bowl now as an overview. I mean, my analysis is very strange because it goes hand in hand as to like how history is remembered. And in my lifetime, the Super Bowl is as an event is a little older than I am. However, I know that there's certain circumstances that led up to the Super Bowl, and you go back into the historicity of the NFL, the American Football League, also in a previous time, and I always found it funny, when I look back and um, the Super Bowl as it is right now, as it exists, as a game, as it's presented. It's interesting because the first Super Bowl and second Super Bowl, the name Super Bowl wasn't even associated with the game. It was just NFL, AFL um, championship, so that you had an NFL champion take on the AFL champion. And Super Bowl III was the first game to have the name Super Bowl attached. And again, there's urban myth about how the Super Bowl name came to be. There's all these different stories about it, but it doesn't really matter. At any rate, it was christened Super Bowl in the third game, Super Bowl three. Then upon the Jets winning that game, there was sentiment, for, the AFL owners wanted to merge with the NFL, and I think there was some sentiment, maybe in the general public, definitely from what I understand among NFL ownership, that the AFL was an inferior league and they weren't worthy of merging with the NFL. But along came Super Bowl three, and the Jets of the AFL defeated the NFL champion. So Indy Colts, right? So, or Baltimore Colts, I should say, at the time. Um, so then, therefore, you had the AFL owners, had guys like Lamar Hunt, and don't get me started on his family, but anyway, Lamar Hunt, the Chiefs, Al Davis, Ralph Wilson, the Bills, and then they ended up pushing, and by the Super Bowl four, you had the Super Bowl, as it is, right? Where you have the AFC champion and NFC champion playing, and you get an NFL champion now at the end. So, um, you know, I ended up observing the game, if not watching the game, for most of my life, most of the years. At least found out what happened or results or whatever the case may be. Um, and you had a whole bunch of different interesting things happen where from I believe the Rolling Stones performed at the first Super Bowl, and then they performed many years later, and why are they still outperforming live right at their age? um, you had some strange things like Up With People, I believe, was one of the halftime shows. You had the strange with Janet Jackson with a quote unquote wardrobe malfunction. But when I step back now and I kind of look at it, and I guess there is evolution of the event, right? But as of this point, in an earlier day, you know, football wasn't the top sporting event in America, as far as like America's game, whatever you want to call it, by whatever metric, right? Live gate attendance, merchandise, you know, um, you know, uh, by any metric, right? Viewership, Anyway, it's the top it's the top sport in the United States, and so again, like I said, it's where I live. It's what I know, right? I can't speak for the rest of the world, but in the United States, as of right now, it's true. 2025, it's the number one sport in America, and United States of America, and so I kind of look at it and I step back, look at these events and everything that are leading up to it, and um, you know, I feel like it's entertainment on a level that is at the pinnacle of entertainment right now. You know, um, it's all pervasive. That day you have coverage from early on in the day. It takes place on Sunday, which most NFL games do take place on Sunday, but takes place on Sunday. It's a day that most people go to church, but still, um, it's you look at it from so many angles, and you can see that, like, you got the commercials. There's people that tune in; they want to see the commercials, and I mean, don't get me wrong. There's union, there's intersection, right? So I'm just bringing up the different things. I mean, there's people that watch for many different aspects, but I'm saying, like, for for any one given aspect. Like, there are people that are that are tuned in. There's some people that they want to see the game. Maybe their favorite teams are involved. They want to see the game. They want to see, they're interested in, oh, what tight end is dating what pop star, that might be there in the luxury box. They want to see, some people might tune in at halftime and say, hey, what kind of creepy, you know, ritual are they going to pull off at halftime during the halftime show? Some people might tune in and say, wow, what kind of conspiracy are they have going on? What kind of military might show force are they going to have to show in the beginning of the game? For whatever flyovers they're going to do, what kind of armaments, are they going to show? Um, some people just want to see the championship game of the main, top drawing major sport in the United States, and that's the Super Bowl, right? Some people will tune in to see, hey, these are the Hall of Fame, inductees, right? That are going to be, they're getting enshrined this year. Some people want to see the gamesmanship of it, the strategy. Some people want to see their commentators. You know, all these different levels of entertainment that people are, that people are going to put their energy into it. That maybe there's some, there's a whole bunch of people that are, that have money in the game, gambling in different ways. So there's all these levels of, entertainment for all these different people. There's so much energy. There's so much, consciousness being focused on this event for this time frame. And you have all these ancillary things that are, that have glommed on, things like Puppy Bowl, um, you know, uh, all these people that are running promotions that day for different food type of places, food delivery type of places, you name it. It's become so huge. It's become, darn near, something for everyone kind of thing, I mean, obviously not everyone, but so many different boxes it ticks for, different type of people that are looking at the game for whatever entertainment purposes they have, and it's just so strange. Um, it's become it's become like an out of control monster in that regard. Um, but anyway, enough about that. So I guess down to it is my predictions, right? I predict that um, we're gonna see, more of the same. We're gonna see a football game. We're gonna see, obviously, a football game, but we're gonna see like this. Oh, is so and so gonna be in the luxury booth? Um, there's this angle of it. How's the relationship going? Um, whatever drama about, okay, is this person going to win their first Super Bowl? Is this person going to win their, third in a row? Um, there's going to be some questionable calls on the field by coaches. There's going to be some dubious officiating here and there. We're going to see some creepy ritual at halftime. Um, and that's about all I can say that I feel like we're going to see. Of course, whatever agenda that's going to be pushed forward during the halftime, during the commercials is going to be pushed forth also. That's just basically based on things that I've seen in recent years. And, but as far as for some type of big event that's outside of the game, we're not going to see anything, I don't think. Um, there's so many people out there calling for, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. We're not going to see any of that. That's just all, to me, that's just silly. The event is too large. It just derives too much energy from people. There's all kind of like, tension. There's like people that are rooting hard for one side. There's other people that are rooting hard for the other side. There's conflict. There's all this conflicting energy, and there's so much energy being pulled into that game from all this consciousness, you know, being directed to it. So it's too valuable for this thing that's running in the background that it's not going to be some kind of event that's going to ruin the game. It's going to go off the same way like it always does. There's not going to be some kind of crazy event that happens at the game. And we're going to get somebody that wins and somebody's going to lose, and we're going to move on. And on to the next. And everyone else whose team hasn't made the game, they hope their team can win next year, right? So that's what I think about it, about the Super Bowl, and my predictions for the game, or what I think we're gonna see, and that's about it. So I'll talk later. Thanks.